Yo, what's up everybody? This is Kay here, and today there's one thing that I really wanted to talk about, and it's that I am an American born Japanese. I go to Japan very often, and recently, well not recently, but it's a great place to visit right now because the dollar is super strong and the yen is super weak. So, everyone thinks Japan's expensive, but if you go to Japan now, $1 gets you a long way, and you can really buy a ton of stuff and a ton of gear at a fraction of the cost that you'd be paying for here. But there's a little catch that I need to address. I love Sony cameras, but do not buy a Sony camera in Japan. First you'd think, Sony's a Japanese brand, and I was about to say, and they're made in Japan, until I just saw that, okay, it's assembled in Thailand. But anyway, you'd think, well, first of all, if it's a Japanese brand, I'd assume it's cheaper in Japan. And not only that, but I heard about this place called, it's called Map Camera in Shinjuku, Tokyo. And it's kind of like, what should I say? It's like a second-hand camera store, like a second-hand camera equipment superstore. I'm walking through Shinjuku in Tokyo looking for this place. Oh yeah, that's Map Camera. And I heard they got a lot of really good second-hand equipment. And when I get inside, so this is what I see on the Sony floor. There's a floor for Canon, Nikon, all that. And this is the Sony section that we're looking at right now. And look at the amount of secondhand stuff they have here. These are all E-mount lenses. These are each the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. There's 21 Sony A7 IV bodies. What else we got? These look like they are Sony Alpha A. I don't know which is the right way to pronounce it. A6500s. Below that I see A6400s. But anyway, you get the picture. It's they got a ton of stuff. And what surprised me the most was the price. Let me just check on B&H's website. So the Sony ZV-E10, oh, the price went down. Wow, well, yeah, I guess that's expected. So in America, as of July 2023, the Sony ZV-E10 body is $698 with tax. It's what, 700 something, close to 800 maybe. And when I went to Japan, I got my second ZV-E10 second hand. It's got a cage on it right now, so it's hard to see, but the thing is, it was half price. So I asked the person that works there, is there something wrong with the camera? It doesn't make sense. Why is it $200 or $250 cheaper than a new one? And the person that works there pulls out this iPad or something that has a database of all the defects on the used cameras, and then she pulls out a magnifying glass, and I don't even remember where it is, but there was some little scratch or something, and we're looking through this magnifying glass trying to look for that scratch, and I don't even know where it is anymore. And she's like, oh yes, there's this little scratch right here, and and it was bumped somewhere around here, whatever, and therefore it's $250 cheaper. And I was just, I don't know, I was blown away. And in hindsight, I guess that kind of makes sense because in New York, like when you're parking your car, you know, you maybe you'll kind of bump someone's bumper a little bit, but it's not a big deal. It's like you say, oh, sorry, dude, and it's over. But in Japan, if you're parking, parallel parking, and if you even like, not even scrape, if you even like, you're parking and you're like, boom, you call the police and you call the insurance. So that's great, except for one thing. The price is great. They have pretty much everything you'd want, except for one thing I realized afterwards, that Sony cameras sold in Japan, at least as of now, have one very significant difference to the cameras that you buy anywhere else in the world. And that is this, the menu. So you go to the menu, you know, you'd expect the option to change languages. Like this one that was bought in America, you go to language, and you've got English, French, Italian, Spanish, that's traditional Chinese, and simplified Chinese. I don't know if you can see it here. And that's what I thought is the norm. Except for the fact that if you buy a Sony camera in Japan, it's a totally different story. You go to the menu, and this is what you see. So I was like, okay, fine. I read Japanese, I speak Japanese, so, you know, I could get by with it, but it's kind of just inconvenience. I go to the language settings and I'm like, where are the language settings? It's just not there. Until I searched online, only to realize that if you buy a Sony camera in Japan, you cannot change the language to English or any other language for that matter. Sony, what are you thinking? Well, I'm sure they have their reasons, like market segmentation or whatever. But come on, man. It was a bummer. Can't you let me change the settings to English? That's all I'm asking. Like, wouldn't that be something like a firmware engineer can just, you know, put back in like 10 seconds or something? But I get it. The motive is not technological, it's political or whatever it is. But so my conclusion, just what I wanted to say was, you know, now is a great time to go to Japan because everything's gonna seem cheap. You can buy so much stuff for less money, especially for someone like me that lives in New York where everything is super expensive. Just going to Japan made me feel so rich. And everything was so great until I realized there's no language setting in the menu and I'm stuck in the Japanese menu, but it's okay. So that was my little gripe for the day. Thank you for listening. Yeah. I still do recommend visiting Japan, but just don't buy your Sony camera there. I'm not sure if other makers do the same thing. If anyone knows, if you could let me know, that'd be awesome. So that's it for today. Thank you.